Alvin Bragg caves on that trial date, they were racing to get Trump tried and convicted in all the different jurisdictions throughout America. All the cases are a little bit off the rocker right now. Jack Smith's having a hard time. Fannie's in the thick of it. And so Bragg accelerated his case. Judge Juan said, hey, let's just set this for March 25th. But something happened today. Oh my goodness. Alvin Bragg submitted a motion and he said, you know what, Your Honor? We agree to a 30-day extension. What? That sent many people on the left into an absolute tizzy. They are very unhappy about this. And you can see one of those people is named Andrew Weissmann. We know who he is. He said when this news dropped that Alvin Bragg would be admitting or acknowledging and agreeing to a 30-day postponement, he says, what on God's green earth were the Southern District federal prosecutors thinking in turning this over so late? As we're going to see, there was a bunch of discovery that Alvin Bragg said he got from the feds. He says, if I'm the Manhattan DA himself, a former Southern District prosecutor, I'm livid. Right, they're furious because they wanted this trial to start, man. They wake up every day with like 19 days to the Trump trial, 18 days to the Trump trial, 17 days. Like, it's all they think about. So they get very perturbed when it is not on the docket. Now, someone else who was very upset about this is this gentleman whose name is Ron. He said, it was a big error in judgment for me to defend Merrick Garland as long as I did. At every crucial moment, we learn that he has let us down because he is terrified to appear even minutely partisan. There has never been a greater instance in U.S. history of justice denied by delay. Right? They're very upset about this because they want trial to happen immediately. And so let's take a look at Alvin Bragg's filing. Here's what he says. Defendant has moved for an adjournment or a dismissal, Trump has, based on claimed discovery violations, which are true. And Trump also seeks to adjourn the trial and the start of the trial by 90 days because the production since March 4th of approximately 73,000 pages of records by the U.S. Attorney's Office, which is a lot of pages. Now, these records were produced in response to Trump's subpoena to that office and also seeks to adjourn. Yeah. Now, the people's oppositions to the defendant's motion is currently due tomorrow on March 15th. So Alvin is saying Trump wants to postpone this. A bunch of documents came in. Now, the people's opposition will set out in detail our full compliance with Article 245 throughout the discovery process in this case. And we, says Alvin Bragg and his team, respectfully submitted by this guy, Matthew Colangelo, on behalf of New York, they say we submit this notice in advance of that opposition to advise the court of additional developments yesterday, right? Trump wanted a continuance. This just dropped yesterday. Trial is scheduled for the 25th. After Trump filed his motion and the people submitted our one-page letter response, something happened. Specifically, yesterday, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the DOJ, they produced approximately 31,000 pages of additional records. Oh no! And they represented that there will be another production of documents by next week. Merrick Garland just dropped this all in their lap. So the government prosecutors from New York, they say, we just got hit with like a wheelbarrow full of boxes. And based on our initial review of yesterday's production, those records appear to contain materials related to the subject matter of this case. Including materials that Bragg requested from the U.S. Attorney's Office more than a year ago. And the U.S. Attorney previously declined to provide. That's weird, isn't it weird? If you buy any of this, to me, it feels like this is just a little, good cop, bad cop routine. They're coming in, Alvin Bragg has the worst case of all time. His star witness is Michael Cohen, okay, who's a convicted liar, literally. So it's the DOJ just, I think, wanting to accelerate the case, maybe putting speed bumps on it. Why else would they do this? They want to put speed bumps on it, and Bragg is probably happy about it. These developments do not affect the people's compliance with all obligations under Article 245, and it certainly does not warrant a dismissal, and the people are ready for trial on March 25th. So this is not new. This is not prejudicial to the defense. Like the idea, that you drop in 30,000 pages plus maybe another 30,000 pages, who knows? The defense would be screaming foul. How dare you? On the verge of trial, you hit us with all this new discovery? We need 6 months at least for 31,000 pages, not 30 days. How about 12 months? Nonetheless, in light of the distinctive circumstances described below, and who knows what happened, Merrick Garland just dropped it all, the people, this is Bragg, do not oppose a brief adjournment of up to 30 days to permit sufficient time for the defense to review the productions. Yeah, right, 30 days. For 70,000 pages of documents. Now, regarding the 73,000 pages of records produced by the U.S. attorneys as of the date of Trump's motion, production, Bragg's initial review indicated that those materials were largely irrelevant to the subject matter of this case. But there is an exception. Apparently, there's 172 pages of witness statements that Trump would have adequate time to review and address before trial. Yeah, but that's nice. Like, you say that they're irrelevant, Alvin. No one trusts you, government. No one trusts you. Maybe Judge Juan Merchan does, but they're irrelevant to you. The defense needs to look at every single square inch, every single dot per inch on that 73,000 page briefing bin of documents, every single inch. And it's going to take time to do that. Yesterday afternoon, however, Merrick Garland's DOJ, they dumped in another 31,000 pages of additional records to both Bragg and to the defense in response to Trump's subpoena. And they also indicated that an additional production would be followed by next week. So Trump can't go to trial on that now. We note that the timing of the current production of additional materials from the DOJ is a function of Trump's own delay. Alvin Bragg diligently sought the full grand jury record related to Cohen's campaign finance violations and his convictions from the U.S. Attorney's Office last year, and they wanted exculpatory material. They wanted the grand jury minutes. Remember, Cohen got convicted of perjury. So Bragg's like, I better see what his record looks like since he's our star witness. So they wanted all this material from the DOJ, witness list, other documents, basically like the case file, documents identifying the names and identities of grand jury witnesses, any grand jury subpoenas, documents returned pursuant to those subpoenas, exhibits presented to the grand jury, right? All of the stuff, like that's a lot of stuff, summary of witness interviews, search warrant affidavits, other evidence seized, and whatever. They want the Cohen case file, the whole thing. Now, despite having access to those materials since June, defendant raised no concerns to Bragg about the sufficiency of our efforts to get those materials from the DOJ before last week. Instead, they waited until January 18th to subpoena those materials from the DOJ, and then they consented to repeated extensions of the deadline for their determination. Well, they don't have to go by your clock, Bragg. The timing of the Attorney's Office productions is a result of Trump's delay despite Bragg's diligence. I don't think so. They don't have to go on a specific time clock, Bragg says. Nonetheless, so Trump's fault, blah, blah, blah. But, okay, but what? Nonetheless, and although the people are prepared to proceed on March 25th, no, you're not. We do not oppose an adjournment in an abundance of caution and to ensure that the defense has sufficient time to review the new materials. We therefore notify the court that we do not oppose a brief adjournment, not to exceed 30 days, notwithstanding Bragg's compliance with all of our other discovery obligations. Their case is crap, okay? He knows it. DOJ knows it. Everyone knows it. It's based on Michael Cohen. We also request an extension from Friday, March 15th to Monday, March 18th to file our full response on their discovery motion in order to permit us to fully address any intervening developments since the defendant's motion. Judge Juan Merchan is going to be very upset about this. We submit this notice before filing our opposition of the defendant's motion to make the court aware of yesterday's developments as promptly as possible, and we're available for a conference with the court if the court requests. Whoa! So, not what they wanted, right? You can see why Weissmann and Ron are so upset about this, because the New York criminal trial is unlikely now, it sounds like, to go on March 25th, just a short time from now. So we'll see what the judge does and says. The judge could tell them, no, you're ready. You have enough evidence. Let's go. But if both sides are requesting an adjournment and they've got some good arguments as to why they need one because they just got hit with, 62,000 pages of documents, give or take, they're going to have really no choice but to postpone this. And a little bit of a postponement often triggers a whole snowball effect. Right now, Trump's going to say, what are all these documents that we just got? Where did this come? Who's this witness in here? We learned about this, and now appeal this and motion to dismiss, and it's going to open up just a whole new can of worms. They are delaying it. I think they know their case is terrible. And the only thing that would be worse than not having a trial, just to be clear about this, would be Trump winning a trial. Wouldn't that be much worse? I think that if Trump wins, they are totally screwed. They'd rather have Fannie disqualified than Trump win, or Bragg delay the case than Trump win. And maybe there's something in that disclosure that seriously implicates Michael Cohen. Why else is the DOJ dropping 60,000 pages of materials over 2 weeks, about 10 days before trial starts? Because they're trying to slow roll this thing. Things got upheated a little bit too quickly, and now Bragg is being saved by slowly, this good cop, bad cop routine. I want to go to trial. I'm ready to go to trial, but I can't. So another good day, good news for the Trump defense. They did not want to go to trial on March 25th. They're not going to trial probably on March 25th because Alvin Bragg Caves agrees to a 30-day trial delay. And of course, we're going to be here continuing to cover this trial and all the others, and we're going to update our calendar. We have all of the trials scheduled on our calendar calendar at robertgovea.com/calendar. Links are in the description below. We had this one scheduled for the 25th to start for 6 weeks, but if it gets moved, we'll update the calendar. And if you add it to your calendar, you'll have all the show times on there and you'll know what court hearings are happening when. We had Judge Cannon on there today, and you can be apprised of all the Trump stuff, including deadlines, SCOTUS oral arguments, all that stuff. robertgovea.com. You can also get the PDFs that we read there, sign up for our newsletter there, grab something from the merch store there, and of course, sign up on our locals by clicking one of those locals links and joining us on our members only streams. And we'll look forward to seeing you there and back here on the next one.